product into brand experience. Sustainability, you should not use that plastic. Why do some promo items become daily essentials, like favorite water bottle, while others get tossed immediately?
Without really thinking about the use case or the people receiving it?
How can brand use sensory details like texture, scent, or sound to make merch unforgettable? The topic himself today is energetic, wherein it says from logo to legacy, and then turning promotional product into brand experience. This is what the first question we had. Ice breaking and industry insights. When you rightly said that sustainability, you should not use that plastic, request the supplier to use what kind of packaging to use to meet the sustainability criteria. That's something,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's
the
our job
conversation.
to know, right? If a client's coming to us saying, "Hey, we need something sustainable or eco or whatever," it's our job to be in communication with the supplier to be like, "Hey, how is this going to show up? What
Of
does
course,
this
of
look
course.
like from a production standpoint?"
I
Right?
agree. I agree. Rightly
Yeah.
put. Wherein the second question's psychology of memorable merch. Why do some promo items become daily essentials, like favorite water bottle, while others get tossed immediately?
I think it's for me, what I always try to think of is like the intention behind it. Like if you're going to gift something without really thinking about the use case or the people receiving it, you're
Right.
probably going to miss more
Right.
often than you're going
I
to land
agree.
with a
I
good
agree.
product.
Right.
And so, things that I always try to look on, is it retail inspired? Because when you see things trending at retail, whether
Mhm.
it's subconscious or conscious, people are more drawn to those products.
True. True.
And then the other thing we look at is brand loyalty, right? So, what's the messaging behind it? What's the story? Do people feel connected to your brand, right? Like, what's going to make me use this Genumark mug versus,
Okay.
right? Like, this is a basic promo mug. What makes
Right.
me pick this one up instead of a different one? What
And
makes
this.
me fly home from the conference with this rather than leaving it in my room? You
Right.
have to look at those aspects. And I think if you can nail those few things, they're just so important. More people will tend to keep the product and travel home with it and continue to use it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rightly agreed. The podcast listeners of this episode would know about it. How to not get tossed and lost. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get lost.
Yeah. Exactly.
Easy. So the third question, how can brand use sensory details like texture, scent, or sound to make merch unforgettable?
So this is interesting because I think if you're able to incorporate additional senses, regardless of what they are, it creates more of an experience for
Right.
someone and they're more likely to tie that to memory, right? Even something as simple as like if you're giving a water bottle, but the print is textured, it
Mhm.
has that extra sensory feeling. And
Right.
people are more likely to remember something like that just because it's different. So I think
Of
it doesn't
course.
even
I agree.
really matter what senses you're touching on, but when you can incorporate a few different senses into the experience of receiving a promotional item, it's
Understood. So
going to rank it higher, than the majority of what's out there.
I agree. And
Yeah.
rightly, if at all, we choose what texture, what scent before printing it, advising a virtual proof done, approved from a client, understood it's the right
Oh,
order, not to have
I think
our.
too, when you're incorporating senses, it's so important to do physical samples,
Yeah.
right? Like you can do a mock up online, but I can't feel the mock up. I can't
Yeah.
smell the mock up, right? So, like, actually getting pre production
True.
samples done and
Yeah.
into the hands of your client, it allows them to experience what the end user is going to experience. It's really
True.
important.
True. It's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
The fourth question, strategy and storytelling. Walk us through your process. How do you turn a brand identity into a physical product that resonates?
I think the most important thing is not just being an order taker when you're dealing with when you're working with your clients. You have to ask questions. It's the only way to ensure that whatever you're going to produce hits as many of the marks as possible, right?
Right.
If you're not asking questions and you're just kind of going with the flow, making assumptions, you have no clue how the project's going to land when it's
True.
delivered. So I think, some of the most important ones are like, what message are you trying to get across? What's the premise of the event, right? Is there a theme or something that you're focused on that we can work
Right.
with? Who's attending it?
Who's the
Because
thing?
if you have a bunch of 20-year-old college students attending an event, I'm going to gift very differently than if you have, maybe like a boomer crowd, like 60-year-olds, right? The product you're going to choose or the experience you're going to try to create is going to be very different. And it's just
True.
so important to ask all those questions up front so that you know what you're working with from the get-go.
That's what one says. Keep probing your customer. Ask him.
Yes,
Ask
so
him.
important. So
Can you
important.
can you share a campaign where merch transformed the customer perception of a brand?
Yeah, one that kind of came to me whenever I was reading your questions before we started chatting was, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one, but Costco, like the wholesale
Of
company,
course.
right?
Yes.
So it's like discounted product all day long. Most
Right.
people love it.
Right.
They went on this whole tangent of creating merch, like
Right. Right.
Costco and
Oh,
Kirkland
okay.
branded merch.
Okay.
And I thought at the time, like, this is the weirdest thing. Like, you would never
Right.
go into a grocery store and wear a branded hoodie of the grocery store, you know?
No, of
But
course.
their merch line absolutely took off, and people were like, it was selling out nonstop, right? And it
Ah,
was just such, like, I guess, a testament to the brand loyalty where people don't really look at it as like, oh, it's just like a discounted grocer or a discounted
but
place.
people,
Totally.
yes.
It's a brand, right? It's like a lifestyle, arguably. And I think like whenever they made that pivot, to me, I was like, oh, that's so interesting, really strange. But it absolutely took off and it landed like really well.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fifth question, what's your framework for balancing creativity, budget, and practicality when designing merch?
Yeah, it depends on the client. I think creativity should be happening no matter what the price point is, right? No matter what the budget is, whether it's
Creativity should come. If
creativity is
your
our
work is
job.
not creative, you won't be able to sell.
Exactly.
Or will
I
you sell?
think creativity is our job. For budget, I would say like knowing the budget and again, like knowing the use case is so key. I think a lot
Right.
of the times we get clients where they focus on quantity and they
Right.
want a lot of an item or they want to be able to gift each recipient multiple things,
Right.
which I think can be great. However, what I recommend a lot of the time is, hey, instead of gifting three lower value things, why don't we
Pick
gift
one.
one middle
Quality.
or high range? Someone's more likely to keep it.
Now you're
Someone's more
talking. Yeah.
likely to use it.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Yeah.
get left
Yeah.
in the hotel.
Someone
Yes,
going to keep that with him, not just throwing in
exactly.
mind like this. No.
Exactly. So I think looking at the budget and then establishing like, hey, how can we really focus on creativity and quality over
Quality.
quantity?
I
Yeah.
agree. How can small business with limited budget compete with big brand swag companies?
Use social media.
Social media.
Social media is free, right? If you can get people talking about what you're doing, it's free for
You
people to
won the game.
engage,
You won the
free
game.
for
Yeah.
people to comment, free for people to share, like. If you can get people to talk about what you're doing, it doesn't
Right.
matter how big of a company you are, how small of a company you are, right?
I
If
agree.
you create something that's quality and that's creative and that draws people in and you can get people to share, you absolutely can compete with big business, even if you're smaller.
You won it. Exactly. And I agree. Social media, right trend, influencers, review, feedback, testimonials. You won the game.
Totally.
Carry
Absolutely.
on. You keep doing it every
And
week.
then just a few of those, right? Like if you can get out there on social media, you may find that you go from small business to big business really
Big, of
quickly,
course,
right? Because the
yes.
demand becomes increased. People are
Agreed.
talking about you, people are asking. Yeah, I think you have to leverage the resources you have, right? Not
Right.
everyone is going to start out with a lot of money, but it doesn't mean you can't make it happen.
No, you can certainly make it happen. People who are listening this podcast sure can make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you could leave our listeners with one mantra about promotional marketing, what would it be? The last question.
I think like when you think about branding, I think maybe where a lot of people go wrong is they focus so much on the branding, right? What's it going to look like? What item am I going to use? What they focus so much on that
You work
specific
so
thing.
much on quality guideline, logo guideline.
Yes, they're
Look at
very
Genmark logo. Look at
fixated.
Genmark logo. Look your logo.
Very simple. Yeah. I think
Correct.
what you need to remember is like the branding of what you're doing should enhance the experience that's already happening. It shouldn't be the whole experience, right?
Understood.
You can have an amazing brand if you have bad customer service or if you don't deliver, if you have
You
bad
lost.
quality.
You lost the
Doesn't
customer.
matter how good the brand is, right?
No, you lose the customer. You have to do if customer service is the first thing.
Absolutely. So when you pair really strong branding with those other things, you're winning, right? The
You will-
branding enhances everything else that you're
Of
already
course,
doing. And I
I
think like
agree.
when you look at it from that aspect of like full package instead of just tunnel vision on branding, you'd be
Yeah,
a lot better off.
it won't help, right? I agree. Anybody wants to get in touch with you, Meg? What is
Yeah.
the best email address people can reach you to give you big orders in terms of promotional products?
Yeah. So my full name's Meg Chahl. So my email is mchahl, CHAHL at
Mhm.
genumark.com. Yeah.
And
So
the best possible number to reach you at.
yeah, it is 778 six
Mhm.
six eight 8251.
Awesome. So
So
much
nice
for
to
your
meet
time.
you. Thank you for your time.
It was a pleasure.